Hey everybody, you're watching Cadroll Hunter, and this box of nickels is quite literally bursting at the seams, begging to be hunted. Every box of coins has the potential to be your best hunt ever, a complete dud, or anywhere in between. And the only way for us to find out is to dig into this box, look at every single roll, and see what we can find. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's James. You're watching my channel, Cadroll Hunter, and that's right, I got $100 of Canadian nickels here we're gonna hunt. We're trying to fill some spots in our Lighthouse Vista Canada album. We'll have a look at the album at the end. We're doing really well. There are still some spots we can fill for sure in the early years, but we've made great progress on that album. This box just fell apart when I was moving it, and everything spilled out when I put it on the desk, and well, that's what you see here. So I'll probably have to tape this up because I'm going to return these all to the bank, or at least the ones I don't want to keep. When we're done, I better make the box look better than this. But in any case, we are looking for old coins. We can see King Charles III on the end of that one, so that's going to be a new coin. We'd love to find his grandfather or great-grandfather, George VI or George V. That would be awesome. But we'll take anything old, we'll take anything valuable, anything interesting, errors, varieties. We're going to be keeping anything from 1981 and earlier, even in circulated shape, in the nickel cup, because nickel is worth at least twice face value for every nickel. We're going to hold on to that. There's no real market to trade nickel coins just yet like there is for silver coins, where they trade at their bullion value. But that might change. Nickel's been much higher in the past. If it gets a lot higher again, that might happen. We're going to dig in. I'll bring you in when I find anything interesting. We're already at the end of roll number 8. We're going to get a 2005 Victory nickel. This is very similar to the design of the 1944 and 1945 nickels with that big V and the torch. Very similar. This is commemorating 60 years of the end of World War II in 1945. And we've got Queen Elizabeth II on there. This one, not in great shape, not worth keeping, but I did see a 100% nickel composed nickel from 1981, and we'll toss that in the nickel cup. Just opening up roll number 11 and take a peek in there. That's a 1970. That is a key date, and it looks really nice. I'm going to get these out of here. We'll see if there's anything else in there and really take a look at the condition of that coin. Looks beautiful from here. Well, the rest look like they might be modern coins, but this 1970, that is the key date. There were a lot less minted in 1970. It's been circulated, but the details are quite sharp, and the reverse particularly looks really good. So that's our first true find. I got a little stack here of 2024s that look really nice I might hold on to. But we're hoping we can find some laureate portraits, some King George VI. So far, it's been a lot of newer stuff, and I want to find a lot of older stuff. And this roll is going to give us our first coin from the States. It is from 1995, and it looks like it's seen better days. It's not unusual for us to find lots of American coins in our Canadian coin rolls. We're so close to the border, and they pretty much circulate freely. Roll number 12, we've got a 1990 here, and it means we want to check for one of my favorite varieties, which is the Bear Belly Beaver. Put it under the scope, and this is not it. We see lots of detail in the fur here. The Bear Belly Beaver has a lot of this detail in the fur gone from over polishing the die. It's a really fun variety. I found a whole bunch, maybe a dozen or so, and one for you to look out for. Roll 13 is going to give us a little bit of an oldie. This is a 1967, and this is the Centennial of Confederation. This is the hair on here, and all of the 1967 coins feature different animals. And this one's in pretty nice condition. We'll set that aside. That's a great find. And I just saw behind it a 1999. And one you want to look out for is one that has the P composition mark. So the mint was looking at changing the composition from copper nickel to a steel core cent, multiply plated steel. And they produced some for the vending machine industry with a P on the back to indicate plated steel. And so you might find some that have a P underneath the Queen's portrait on the obverse. This one doesn't have that. Now, after the vending machine test pieces were created, the Mint also created sets. So you can find some with the P that were only in sets. We didn't get either of those here. So if you find one, it's going to be hard to know if this was one of those test coins or if it was from a set. Either way, they're low mint. They're really hard to come by. You want to look out for that too. I said earlier it's not unusual to get a lot of American coins, and in this rule we're going to get at least 4, if not more. There's a couple at the front here. I see one over there and one a little bit further back, and there could very well be others here. That's going to at least bring our total up to 5 so far. And in that roll, we're going to get another Confederation commemorative. This one's 50 years younger than the hare. This one's got a beaver swimming from 2017, and it's got a little bit of the ring of death on there, unfortunately. So I just spilled roll number 17 all over the place, but it's going to reveal our first laureate portrait find. There is a 1963, and there is that laureate portrait. So that portrait was used up until 1964. That was the last year. And then in 65, we saw that updated portrait. Awesome. We're into roll number 23, and we're going to get another laureate portrait. It's going to be an end coin, first coin of the roll, and it's going to be a really nice looking 1963. A little bit of gunk on it there, but in great condition. We're at roll number 33, and look what slid down here. It's a 1996. I'm going to throw this under the scope because there are a few varieties we want to look for. The two main varieties we want to look for are the 1996 near 6 and far 6. It's looking at how close this 6 is to the D. This is the near 6. The far 6, which is a little more scarce, that 6 is pushed down a bit. There's more of a space there. But the other variety you want to look for is the 1996 attached 6. It's actually a die chip right between the D and the 6. I have found one. It's actually a fairly valuable variety. The other one you can look for, or I should say a variety you can look for with that attached 6, is what is known as the crown on beaver, where there's a significant die clash all across the top of the beaver. And what you're actually seeing are all of the jewels of the crown from the obverse impressed upon the die here, which makes an impression on the coin right here. Really cool. This one, we're just going to toss this one back, but we always want to look for that attached 6. I was just starting to take the tape off of this plastic roll number 39, and I could spot at the end, we're going to have an older nickel. It's a 12-sided edge, and it's got a dark look like I think it could possibly be one of those steel nickels that we saw in the 40s and the 50s. But I got to get this out of here and we'll find out. So I've just laid it down and pushed it down, and it does have that chromium plated steel look, and it's going to be a laureate portrait, and it's going to be a 1953, and there's a variety we want to look for here too. We'll look first to see if it is the shoulder fold or no shoulder fold. So there it is under the scope, and here is a closer look. And this is going to be the no shoulder fold, and we can tell that, well, first by seeing there's no fold on the shoulder, but primarily because we're looking at the flares on the obverse lettering, the I, these flared serif ends. That is the no shoulder fold. So both of these are common varieties in the 1953 nickel. We got to flip it over to see if it is a less common variety, and what we're looking for is the placement of the maple leaf with its proximity to the rim. The no shoulder fold, we're looking for the leaf being near the rim denticles. It would almost be touching. That, in an EF, is a $500 coin. In an EF, this would be a $1 coin, and this is far too damaged even to be an EF, so it's not terribly valuable, but it's still a 1953, and it's one of several varieties you want to look for. And I always have my Charlton catalog of Canadian coins handy with me here, and there's all these diagrams and pictures to help you figure out what are the varieties to look for. You can get your own from either charltonpress.com or lighthousecanada.ca and use my exclusive discount code CRH20 to get 20% off your purchase. Roll number 41, and we're going to get our fourth laureate portrait, and it's going to be our third 1963. Well, so far we haven't had a ton of stuff, but this might be our lucky day, because look, We're going to get a diamond here. We are up. This is awesome. I'm going to toss that bad boy down there. We're going to look for it and see what we got going on. Oh, yeah. That's a dime for sure. 2016. Beauty. Awesome. It's worth 10 cents. Sweet. Well, we're on a bit of a 60s kick, and it's another 1963. That is going to be our fourth one. Roll number 47, and the second coin in the roll looks to be an older US, and there's a few US here. And that one, it's a 1964, so it's not that old. But we are going to get one in the 50s. 1959, we're going to have to flip this one over to see that it's got a Denver mint mark. So we found a 50s Jefferson nickel and one from the 60s here. We found a 64 earlier. I didn't show it to you because I don't really keep those, but I do keep any of the Jeffersons in the 50s, and we'll just take a peek at this next one here. And it's obviously, and it's from the 90s. Roll number 48 is going to give us another 12-sided nickel. You can spot it right here. See what that's going to be. It's going to be Elizabeth once again. We haven't found George. This one is a 1960. So that's it. Our 50 rolls down. I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff here, and I will organize the finds, and we'll do a little bit of a wrap-up. We actually did pretty good with nickel. I'll get this organized. I'll be right back. Well, that wasn't half bad. We did pretty good with nickel, about a third of a cup. Not quite half a cup, but that's always a good sign. It means there's a possibility we're going to get something older. If it's been hunted, we often don't find any at all because people like me are pulling it out. We got 27 foreign coins, all from the United States. The oldest being this 1959 Denver, and I keep everything from 59 and earlier, so that's a cool find right there. Maybe the find of the day was this beautiful 2016 dime. Well, not really, but we did make 5 cents on that, but who knows? I'm not keeping really good track. If we were shorted in a couple of these, even if we were shorted in a few of them, well, then we lost out, and that's possible. But we did get some laureate portraits from the 60s. We got 5 of them, one 1960 and 4 1963s. It's too bad we didn't get more of a spread of dates, but I'm not going to complain we got some. Our oldest Canadian, this 1953 chromium-plated steel, which was the no shoulder fold variety, so that's good. That's as old as it got for our hunt. We got a couple of other finds here to talk about. We got a Centennial of Confederation 1967, and we got the Canada 150 from 2017. We got a couple of really nice ones here. A beautiful 1970. I'm going to check the album to see if that's an upgrader. And a really nice 1990, Not the Bare Belly. And I kept a stack of 2024s and 2023s that I thought looked pretty nice. That one there actually is... yeah, pretty nice looking coin. So I always keep a couple extras just in case if I want to keep some for any trades. Well, I made a check against our Lighthouse Vista Canada album, and I'm really happy to say that we actually made some progress. We actually upgraded that 1970. So there it is in the album. Just slightly better than the one that was in there. This one just had a little bit more circulation wear. Still in decent shape, but you can see it's not perfect. The one that we put in there was actually quite a bit better. So that's awesome. We're doing really well. There's really some NIFCs that we haven't placed in here yet, but particularly there's still some progress we can make in the 40s and of course in the 30s and the 20s. There's some key dates we don't have. The George V are gonna be really, really hard to find, but we found some. So I'm always hopeful with coin roll hunting. You just never know what you're gonna find in a roll. We got a 1922, but we don't have all the dates, so keep our fingers crossed and hope we find some really cool stuff. So that is it. I got to get all these back to the bank. I really thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a nickel hunt. We're always looking for some old stuff. Hopefully next time we'll find something older than a 1953, but you just never know. That's the way coin roll hunting goes. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, please consider doing that. I'd really appreciate it. I always appreciate you watching my videos. Give the video a like. I'd appreciate that too. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.